Oh, what an adventure! Get lost with Google Maps. Good morning, everybody. All right, we're working on the battery box today for the outlets for these welding terminal outlets that'll end up running the winch. So we got the old battery out. Okay, I don't know where it's gone. It went away on a trolley somewhere. And we got the new one in. I talked about it the other day. It's just a thumper battery from Redback. I got it actually from the 12 volt shop in South Australia. It's not sponsored or anything like that. It was just a really good battery at a really decent price, delivered to my door. Well, actually I picked it up at the freight yard in town. It wasn't delivered to my door. The freight company wanted an extra $100 to drive 17 kilometers from the freight yard to my door, and I said, don't worry about it, mate, I'll pick it up. Alright, but that's like I said in the last video, that's a dual use battery. It's a deep cycle, and it's 800 CCA or cold cranking amps at 25 degrees C. So it's a perfect battery for burst running a winch, which is all you ever do to a winch is burst run it. Like, you don't just because you'll burn your winch out. Okay, so we got, now these are still live. That's the positive, that's the negative. Now you can see they're still live, or you should be able to see they're still live. This thing, there you go, there's a little light blinking there every now and then, right at the end of my finger. We'll just wait a second. There we go. Okay, so because it's live because it's fed from the back battery. Also this connects to the front battery for solar charging and everything else, but it actually doesn't draw back from the back battery, it just sends it to the front battery. So my starter battery is 100% isolated from draining, but it's connected for charging. So while the whole system's joined in, all the batteries, including the trailer, will do everything and push all the power forward to the starter battery. So my starter battery is always fully charged. That's how I've got this wired, and that's thanks to this little projector. This is a Series 2 unit. It's a solar charge controller, and it manages, it's basically a BMS. It manages my battery system in my ute. Okay, so as you can see, we've got quite a clump of wires here. There is a lot of wires attached to this thing. Okay, this is your positive side, this is the negative side. There's a temperature sensor down there. Now what I got to do is, because I'm putting these outlets in, so we got to fit this Blue Sea fuse. This one here, it's a 300 amp. You can't, the top comes off, but anyway, it's a bit massive big fuse. And we've also got to fit this disconnect switch in here. Okay, and this is a 300 amp disconnect. That's what its continuous rating is at. As you can see, it's by the size of the copper bolts there. They're absolute massive bolts. Alright, same as on the fuse. Absolute massive. This is a Blue Sea one. There you go, Blue Sea Systems. Alright, so they've both got to fit in there because, you know, as well as having the outlet here so I can power the winch, I can also, if I'm parked next to the trailer and I want to share power between the car and the trailer, I've got two extra plugs, as you saw in the last video, on the side of the trailer for also running the back winch on that, where depending on where I put the winch, because it's a portable winch, but I can also share power from here to the trailer. Alright, so anyway, let's get on with this. So what I've got to do is I'm going to make new battery holder, because I wasn't happy with the last one. These are the ones that I had in it, and they just went through here like this. Yeah, but they were just rubbish. So what I'm doing is I've got this zinc plated rod. I'm going to put a little hole down through the bottom down here, put a nut and a washer on the end, another nut on this end, and then it'll just fix. There'll be just a piece of angle line across the top to actually clamp the battery down. And because this is aluminium, to stop any cracking, okay, if the battery does want to move, I've got some damn big washers to go underneath here to help spread the load. Okay, so yeah, anyway, I put a lot of thought into how I'm going to do this, and it's just a massive pile of wires, isn't it? Just a many to the batteries, but it's pretty good the way it does it. Like it manages everything, from the trailer all the way to the starter battery, including this great big thing. Okay, so I've marked, you'll see a couple of black marks. There's one there at the end of my finger. There's another one here at the end of my little finger. That's the finished height of the battery when it goes in. Now this is a wet box. Okay, when you go through creek crossings and all that sort of stuff, it does get wet. It does have a drain hole in it, and you can see it gets dirt and dust. This here is waterproof. You can actually submerge this thing. The batteries, well, it's DC. DC loves water. It's waterproof, and of course the wiring. So I'm just going to put it all together now, people. Here we are. So you can see that's got a 250 amp fuse in it. I'm actually going to change that out, but you can see the fuse is up there. The switch is over here. As you can see, there's plenty of elastic under it. That's where it comes out. Now there's a cover that goes over this that'll protect it. I'm not worried about that. That's the solar input for the projector battery management there. Okay, now the last bolt, this one, okay, we put that in last. I just simply drop it in its hole and do it up from underneath, and after I've got the battery in, then I can do my measurements and make a small angle line clamp at the top. Alright, back again. I'll just pass you to my wife for a second. Now you can see, no, I'm showing this, love. You can see here, I went down the shed and quickly knocked all the sharp edges off it with the angle grinder, drilled all the holes. Let's see if I've got it in the right spot. Get that one in. Lovely. Absolutely brilliant. And we just tension that down, not too tight. We don't want to bend anything. And that's it. That battery's not going anywhere. But like I say, if I have to take the battery out, there's a nut and a big washer down on the bottom of this that we have to undo first, and then this rod just lifts out of the hole. But I mean, that's much better than that other stuff up that was on there that would never tighten and fall, and it always fell apart, didn't it? It was just a useless damn thing. Whereas this, I know that, you know, if the unforeseeable happens and we flip over or something stupid like this, I know this battery is going to stay exactly where I put it, and there's not going to be any risk of electrical shorts, which is a big problem in car rollovers, which is why you must properly secure any battery if you're in a motor vehicle, whether it's an auxiliary battery, it doesn't matter what it is. It should be properly secured, because if they flip over and you're knocked unconscious and your car burns around you, well, then you're toast, aren't you? Or actually, probably pork roast is more appropriate. Anyway.